Men don't just fall for the woman who looks good on paper, they fall for the woman who makes them feel something deeper. And if there's one thing that keeps a man drawn to you in a way that's more than just fleeting attraction, it's when you become his safe space. Not in a way that makes you his therapist, not in a way that has you overextending yourself to fix his problems, but in a way that makes him feel like when he's with you, he can breathe. Because here's the truth. Most men walk through the world with their guard up. They have to. They're expected to be strong, to have it all together, to never show weakness. But deep down, what every person craves, man or woman, is a place where they can be real, a place where they don't have to perform, where they don't have to constantly prove their worth, where they don't have to pretend they have all the answers. When a man finds that with you, it becomes something he never wants to lose. Now, let me be clear. This doesn't mean you let him unload everything on you while you carry all his emotional weight. That's not the goal. The goal is that when he's around you, he feels like he can be himself. He doesn't have to have his armor up all the time. He doesn't have to impress you with his achievements, his status, or his ability to have everything under control. When he's with you, he feels like he can let go even just a little and know that it's okay. Think about it. We all have those moments when we're dealing with something tough and there's a voice in the back of our head saying, don't show it, keep it together. That's the default setting for a lot of guys. But if he's with you and for the first time in a long time, he feels like he doesn't have to keep everything bottled up, he's going to remember that. That feeling is going to stick with him. He's going to feel addicted to the way he can just be when he's with you. Now, here's where most people get this wrong. They think that making a man feel safe means always agreeing with him, always being sweet and accommodating, or never challenging him. But real safety isn't about telling him what he wants to hear. It's about being real with him while also being kind. It's about being a place of warmth without losing your boundaries. Because guess what? A man doesn't want someone who's just going to nod along and validate everything he says. He wants someone who sees him, truly sees him, and still chooses to be there. When he shares something with you, listen, not to respond, not to fix it, but just to hear him. So many times we think we have to offer solutions, but sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just let him talk. Give him space to express himself without feeling like he's being judged or analyzed. When he feels like he can come to you and not feel like he's being assessed, that's when he starts to feel a deep emotional bond. But don't mistake being his safe space for being his emotional crutch. There's a difference. If he's constantly coming to you with problems but not doing anything to work on them, that's not emotional connection. That's dependent. And that's not healthy for either of you. Your role isn't to be the one who always has to hold him up. Your role is to be the person who reminds him that he's capable, that he's strong, that he doesn't have to face things alone, but that he also has what it takes to handle them. And here's another important piece. Being a safe space doesn't mean you sacrifice your own needs. It doesn't mean you become so focused on his emotional world that you neglect your own. The most attractive thing you can bring into any relationship is your own sense of stability. When a man sees that you are grounded in who you are, that you have your own emotional resilience, he feels safer with you because he knows you're not just there out of need, you're there by choice. So how do you actually create this feeling? It starts with presence. When you're with him, be with him. Not distracted, not half listening, but fully there. You know what it feels like when someone is truly paying attention to you, when they're not just hearing your words, but actually feeling what you're saying. That level of presence is rare and it's powerful. It makes people feel seen in a way that is unforgettable. It also means not being reactive. If he shares something vulnerable with you, resist the urge to overanalyze or to jump in with your own experience. Let the moment be about him. Sometimes the best response is a simple, I hear you. Those 3 words, when said sincerely, can be more powerful than a whole speech. And finally, it means bringing warmth and encouragement into the connection. Life is hard enough as it is. The world is full of criticism, pressure, and expectations. If he associates you with a feeling of ease, where he can laugh, where he can be a little silly, where he can exhale instead of holding his breath, that's when you become someone he doesn't just want in his life, but someone he feels he can't be without. Because here's the thing, people don't stay where they don't feel good. No matter how much attraction is there, no matter how much chemistry exists, if a relationship starts to feel like just another place where he has to keep his guard up, he's eventually going to pull away. But when a man feels like with you he has a home, not a physical place, but an emotional one, that's when he's truly hooked. So don't underestimate the power of being that safe space. Not by losing yourself in him, not by bending over backward to make him happy, but by being the person who reminds him that he can just be. Because when you do that, he won't just want you, he'll never want to lose you. Predictability is the silent killer of attraction. It's what turns passion into routine, and it's why so many relationships lose their spark. In the beginning, everything is exciting. There's mystery, intrigue, that electric uncertainty of what's going to happen next. But over time, what was once exciting can become expected. And when something is expected, it stops being thrilling. Now, let me be clear. I'm not talking about playing games. I'm not telling you to be distant, cold, or manipulative. That's not what keeps a man hooked. What keeps him hooked is the sense that there's always more to discover about you, that no matter how much he knows, there's still a depth he hasn't reached, a side of you he hasn't yet unlocked. That's what keeps him drawn in. Think about the people who captivate you. They have an energy, a presence that makes you want to know more. They surprise you, not by trying to be someone they're not, but by revealing new dimensions of themselves over time. They don't give you everything all at once. They let you experience them in layers. That's the kind of intrigue that makes someone irresistible. Now imagine a guy meets you and within a week he knows your entire schedule, your entire routine, and you've already given him all of your time. What happens? He doesn't have to wonder about you anymore. He doesn't have to think, what is she up to? What is she passionate about? Where is she right now? He already knows. The mystery is gone. And without mystery, there's nothing pulling him forward. The truth is, attraction is fueled by curiosity. Curiosity only exists when there's something unknown. When you make your entire life about him, you take that away. That's why it's so important to maintain your own passions, your own interests, your own life outside of him. Not just because it makes you more attractive, but because it makes you more fulfilled. You should never be giving a man all of your time anyway. You should be so in love with your own life that he has to work to be a part of it. When you're unpredictable in the right way, it's not about being inconsistent with your affection. It's about being someone who brings excitement and surprise into the relationship. Maybe one day you send him a cute message out of nowhere, and then the next you're so immersed in your own life that he's the one reaching out. Maybe he thinks he's got you all figured out and then you show him a side of you he's never seen before. Maybe he assumes date night is always dinner and a movie, and then one day you surprise him with something completely unexpected. It's the little things that keep him on his toes, that keep the energy alive. What a lot of people do is they get comfortable. They fall into a routine. They think, I have him now, so I don't have to try anymore. And that's the fastest way to lose the very thing that made him attracted to you in the first place. Because men don't fall in love with comfort alone. They fall in love with excitement, with inspiration, with the feeling that being around you makes their world bigger, not smaller. So here's what you do. Instead of making your life revolve around him, make your life so full that he has to chase you just to keep up. Stay unpredictable, not by playing games, but by continuing to grow, by continuing to evolve. Keep him intrigued by being a woman who is always becoming more, who is always expanding, who is always surprising even herself. Because when you do that, he will never feel like he's reached the final page of your story. And that's what keeps him coming back for more. A man values what he has to work for. That's just the truth. It's human nature. We appreciate what takes effort. Think about it. If someone just handed you your dream job without an interview, without proving yourself, without any work, would you truly value it? Would you even trust it? Probably not. The same principle applies in relationships. A man isn't going to deeply appreciate something that falls into his lap without effort. But if he has to work for it, if he has to step up, if he has to meet a standard to earn your time and attention, that's when he realizes your worth. Now, let me be clear. This doesn't mean playing games or making him jump through hoops for the sake of it. It's not about manipulation. It's about understanding that value comes from effort, and effort only happens when there's something worth striving for. If you make it too easy, he's not going to feel like he earned it. And when someone doesn't feel like they've earned something, they don't hold on to it as tightly. But when a man sees that your attention, your time, and your energy are things that must be valued, he will cherish them because he knows they are not just handed out to anyone. So how do you challenge him without chasing? The answer lies in how you carry yourself. Are you operating from a place of neediness, where you're waiting for his next move, adjusting your life around him, making sure you're always available? Or are you showing up as a woman who has her own sense of purpose, her own passions, and her own life that she's excited about? A man should be an addition to your already fulfilling life, not the center of it. When you have that mindset, it naturally shifts the way you engage with him. A lot of people confuse availability with connection. They think, if I'm always there for him, if I'm always the one initiating, if I make it really obvious that I like him, he'll see how much I care, and that will make him stay. But that's not how it works. Real attraction isn't built on excess availability. It's built on a mix of connection and a bit of uncertainty. Not the kind of uncertainty that breeds insecurity, but the kind that keeps him intrigued. The kind that makes him wonder, I really like her, but does she like me just as much? When a man knows he has you no matter what he doesn't have to try anymore. And when he stops trying, the dynamic shifts. That's when you start feeling like you're the one always giving, always initiating, always trying to hold things together. But when you challenge him, when you make it clear that you are a woman who expects effort, he's going to feel that in the best way possible. It's going to light something in him because deep down, men love to feel like they are earning something of value. It gives them purpose. The key is to show appreciation when he does make an effort. Because let's be honest, if you challenge a man but never acknowledge when he steps up, he's going to feel like nothing is ever enough. And that's exhausting. If he plans a date, if he goes out of his way to do something thoughtful, recognize it. Not in a way that puts him on a pedestal, but in a way that lets him know you see his effort and that it means something to you. That's the balance. You're not chasing, but you're also not shutting him out. You're giving him the space to step up, and when he does, you make him feel appreciated for it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is overcompensating when they feel someone pulling away. They sense the shift. They feel like he's losing interest and they panic. So what do? They start sending more messages. They start trying to prove their worth. They start doing things they never did before just to get his attention back. Because what's actually happening is a shift in value. The moment you start over-investing while he's withdrawing, you make it clear that your value is lower than his. And when that happens, attraction fades. Instead, when you feel someone pulling away, the best thing you can do is mirror that energy. Not in a petty way, not as a game, but in a way that says, I respect myself enough not to beg for attention. If he's putting in less effort, match that energy. If he's not texting as much, don't suddenly flood his phone trying to pull him back. Give him the space to miss you. Give him the chance to notice the absence of your energy. That's when he'll start realizing what he stands to lose. And if he doesn't, then you've just saved yourself from wasting time on someone who was never willing to invest in the first place. A high-value woman understands that she is not in competition with anyone. She's not fighting for attention. She's not trying to win a man over. She knows her worth. And because of that, she naturally attracts men who are willing to step up. She sets the standard and she lets men rise to meet it. And here's the beautiful part. When a man truly values you, when he feels that sense of challenge and purpose, he won't just chase you. He'll keep chasing you over and over again. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because he knows that your love, Your energy and your presence are things worth earning every single day. So don't chase, challenge, and watch the right man rise to meet you. There's something powerful about space, about knowing when to step forward and when to step back. It's one of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships. They think that being there all the time, always available, always ready, is what makes someone value them. But the reality is, the more we're in someone's face, the less they feel the need to reach for us. Think about the things you crave in life. The things you desire most are the things that aren't always within arm's reach. It's human nature to want what feels just out of reach, what makes us lean in, what makes us feel a little uncertain. That doesn't mean playing games. It's about understanding how attraction works. You don't create desire by constantly reminding someone you're there. You create desire by making them feel the weight of your absence. When you're always available, always responding the second he texts, always saying yes before he even finishes the question, what happens? He doesn't have to put in any effort. And when there's no effort, there's no appreciation. When something is given without any sense of earning it, it loses its value. That's just the way people work. Absence isn't about ignoring someone or pretending not to care. It's about creating a rhythm where he has a chance to feel what it's like when you're not always there. If you're always the one making plans, you're always the one reaching out, always filling the space, he never has to. He never has to wonder where you are. He never has to feel that little tug that makes him think, I miss her. And that's what keeps someone engaged. The feeling that they don't have you completely, that they still need to show up for you, that they still need to keep you. The truth is, we value what we invest in. If he's not investing in you, if he's not taking action, then what's keeping him there? You being there isn't enough. It has to be his choice. And for him to choose, he has to feel the space where you could be, but aren't. That space is what makes him realize your presence isn't guaranteed, that he doesn't just get you by default, that he has to step up. This is why people who are overly giving, overly available, overly eager, often find themselves in relationships where they feel unappreciated. It's not that they're doing something wrong in terms of kindness or generosity. It's that they're giving without any sense of space for the other person to give back. And when someone isn't required to give, they stop feeling the need to. They fall into a passive state. And when someone is passive, attraction fades. Think of it like a great song. What makes music beautiful isn't just the notes. It's the pauses between the notes, the moments of silence that make the melody stand out. The same thing happens in attraction. If there's no pause, no space, no moment where someone feels your absence, there's nothing to make them crave your presence. And this isn't about pulling away to manipulate. It's about living a life that doesn't revolve around one person. It's about genuinely being busy, genuinely having things going on, genuinely being fulfilled in a way that doesn't require constant reassurance from him. When you do that, your absence isn't forced, it's natural. And because it's natural, it creates a pool. Have you ever noticed that when you're completely consumed with someone, checking your phone every 5 minutes, waiting for a message, they seem to pull away? But the second you get busy, when your mind is occupied with other things, when you're out having fun, suddenly they reach out. That's because they feel the shift. They feel the space where your energy used to be, and they realize they don't want to lose it. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that more effort always equals more attraction. But attraction isn't logical. It's emotional. It's created in the space between interactions, in the anticipation, in the moments where someone is left wanting more. If you want to keep him addicted to you, it's not about always proving your worth. It's about making sure he never takes your worth for granted. And that means letting him feel your absence just enough to make him reach for you. There's something about playfulness that keeps the spark alive in a way that nothing else does. We often get so caught up in the serious aspects of relationships, whether he's committing, whether he's showing up the way we want, whether we're saying the right things, that we forget one of the simplest and most powerful truths about attraction. People crave joy. We want to be around people who make us feel good, who make life feel lighter, who remind us not to take everything so damn seriously. That's why, if you want to keep someone addicted to you in the best way possible, you have to be the source of the energy he wants more of. And nothing does that quite like playfulness. Think about the early days of attraction. What makes them so electrifying? It's not just the mystery or the newness. It's the teasing, the laughing, the flirtation that feels effortless. It's the moment when you pretend to steal a fry off his plate and he playfully pulls it away. It's the way you mock him for his terrible choice in movies, but in a way that makes him smile because he knows you're just having fun. It's the lightheartedness of the back and forth, the game of words and gestures that make him feel alive in your presence. The problem is, as relationships progress, people tend to lose this. They start focusing on responsibilities, on expectations, on defining everything. And before they know it, they've replaced fun with formality. They become interviewers instead of adventurers. They trade curiosity for comfort, forgetting that one of the most intoxicating things about love is its ability to make us feel free. But the truth is, if you want to keep a man hooked, if you want to be the person he thinks about when he's lying in bed at night, smiling to himself, it's not just about being attractive or smart or kind. It's about making him associate you with joy. This doesn't mean you have to perform. Playfulness isn't about being over the top or trying to be a comedian. It's about having an energy that makes life feel more exciting when you're around. It's about being willing to step outside of your comfort zone, to laugh at yourself, to invite him into a world that's less predictable and more thrilling. It's about the moments that catch him off guard, the way you challenge him to a ridiculous bet, the way you dance in the kitchen while making breakfast, the way you surprise him with something unexpected just to see his reaction. Most people think attraction is about words, but it's more about feelings. How do you make him feel when he's with you? If he feels tense, like he's walking on eggshells, like he's constantly being measured or assessed, he's going to pull away. Not because he doesn't care, but because attraction thrives in ease, not pressure. On the other hand, if he feels relaxed, if he laughs when he's with you, if he feels that with you he can let go of the weight he carries every day, he's not going anywhere, because that feeling is rare. That feeling is addictive. The mistake people make is thinking that effort is only about deep conversations and serious gestures. But some of the biggest efforts you can make in a relationship are in the smallest, lightest moments. It's sending a text that's not just about logistics, but something playful that makes him smile in the middle of a long day. It's not just saying, "How was work?" but instead, on a scale of, "I'm quitting tomorrow," to, "I got promoted to CEO, how was your day?" It's breaking the monotony with a bit of fun, because fun is what makes people stick around. Fun is what makes people crave your presence. And if you can be that in his life, the person who makes even the most mundane moments exciting, you'll never have to question whether he's drawn to you. Think about the couples who stay in love for decades. It's not because they have the perfect relationship. It's not because they never fight or because they have some secret formula for success. It's because even after all the years, they still know how to make each other laugh. They still joke with each other. They still find ways to bring joy into their connection. That's what keeps attraction alive. That's what makes someone addicted to you in the best way possible. Because when you are the person who makes life feel lighter, more fun, more adventurous, confidence is not about walking into a room and thinking you're better than everyone else. It's about walking in and not having to compare yourself to anyone at all. It's the quiet assurance that says, "I know who I am, I know what I bring to the table, and I don't need external validation to feel complete." That energy is magnetic. It draws people in. It makes them curious. And most importantly, it makes a man see you as someone he can't afford to lose. See, most people get this backward. They think attraction is about doing more, giving more, proving more, pleasing more. But in reality, it's the opposite. Attraction is about being more. It's about embodying a state of self-worth that makes him want to step up, that makes him want to earn a place in your life. It's not about games, manipulation, or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about truly knowing your value so deeply that you naturally create an environment where he feels lucky to be with you. Now, a lot of people mistake confidence for arrogance, but they couldn't be more different. Arrogance is rooted in insecurity. It's needing to prove yourself, needing to be right, needing to be seen a certain way. Confidence is quiet. It doesn't need to announce itself. It's knowing that even if someone doesn't see your worth, it doesn't change the fact that you have it. And when you carry yourself that way, a man can feel it. He can sense that you are not looking for someone to complete you. You are already whole. That changes everything, because here's the truth. Men don't fall in love with women they need to validate. They fall in love with women they want to validate. Women who make them feel inspired, who make them want to be better. And the fastest way to inspire a man is to show him that you are a woman who values herself at the highest level. That means knowing when to walk away from behavior that doesn't meet your standards. It means not bending over backward to convince someone to choose you. It means having the courage to say, I'm not here to audition for a role in your life. Either you see my value or you don't. Now, you might be thinking, but won't that push him away? The wrong guy? Maybe. The right guy? It will make him step up. Because a man can only deeply respect and cherish a woman he knows he could lose if he doesn't treat her right. If he feels like no matter what he does, you'll always be there, always waiting, always forgiving, then there's no urgency, no fire, no reason for him to put in the effort. But when he knows that you value yourself enough to walk away from anything less than what you deserve, it forces him to either rise to your level or lose the chance to be with you. Confidence also shows up in the way you handle uncertainty. One of the biggest attraction killers is anxious energy, constantly wondering where you stand, overanalyzing every little thing he says, needing constant reassurance. That energy makes a man feel like he has to manage your emotions instead of simply enjoying your presence. But when you trust yourself, when you trust that no matter what happens, you will be okay, that's when you become truly irresistible. Because now you're not operating from a place of fear, but from a place of abundance. You're not thinking, I hope he picks me. You're thinking, I wonder if he's the right fit for me. That shift in mindset is everything. And let's talk about independence. A confident woman has her own life, her own goals, her own passions, her own things that light her up outside of the relationship. That's what keeps the attraction alive. When a man sees that you are fulfilled, with or without him, it makes him want to be a part of your world even more. It makes him realize that being with you is not a necessity, it's a privilege. And the moment a man feels like he could be replaced if he doesn't bring his best, that's when he starts to value you in a whole new way. But confidence isn't just about how you interact with him, it's about how you interact with yourself. It's in the way you talk to yourself when no one's watching. It's in the way you hold yourself, the way you walk into a room, the way you handle setbacks. Confidence is built in the small moments, when you keep the promises you make to yourself, when you set boundaries and stick to them, when you choose yourself even when it's hard. Because when you do that consistently, it becomes who you are. And when you operate from that place, you don't have to try to attract a man. He will be naturally drawn to you. He will be hooked, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. So if you want to get him addicted to you, stop focusing on him. Start focusing on you. The more you pour into yourself, your growth, your happiness, your confidence, the more effortlessly you will attract the kind of love that lasts. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful thing you can bring to any relationship is a woman who knows she's worth it. And that's the kind of woman a man never wants to lose.